Hey guys, me again, back with another Exosister video, I suppose. I wanted to talk about something that's been bothering me for a little while, and I think it's why, like, a lot of the current Exosister builds I don't like. This is a bit of a more, personal video. I mean, like, personally opinionated. I mean, not like it's, like, about me, but, like, I've just been thinking about this for a while, and it's something I wanted to talk about because I don't see a lot of discussion on it, at least within like the Exosister players I follow, which I don't follow very many. If you have any like good recommendations for players to play a lot of decks like this, shout them out. I'd like to see them. Love to get more active. Anyways, I'm gonna start into the video now. So here we have I think what would be 3 different decks. These 3 are obviously pre-ban list. I think it's infinitely better pre-ban list with 3 desires, so I wanted to talk about it at what I think is probably its best version. This is an Exordio list actually. It's, as you can see, it's not playing desires, so it's relatively untouched from the ban list. It should be noted that this, I believe, is a Yassine list, so if you want to check them out, Exordio's list is this one, Yassine's list should be this one. I'll hopefully be able to find the channels and link them in the description. Obviously, again, these were made pre-ban list, but, that's it. Also, I made the side deck myself, so if it looks a little odd, it's just what I thought would be the best. Yeah. So, starting off, right, here's one of my pre-ban list. A lot of people have been talking about this. I'm going to probably talk about this, but Dinotherium is a great card, especially in this deck if you're going for a more combo-oriented version. It forces your opponent can special summon, right? And so if they do that, it is treated as them moving a card from the graveyard. Just a fun little side note. But it's talking about this combo version, right? Where you play these, 4, 5, 6. This one plays 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this one plays 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 9 of the Zoro. I'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, it usually plays about 6 to 8 of these just generic extenders that like allow you to special summon. The Gigabyte, Ranryu, these all say basically the same thing, but if you control a spellcaster monster, you can special summon it. That being said, they all have a bit different effects. These 2 special with 1500 attack and 200 defense, and these have like special effects. Archfiend can destroy a card to special summon itself, and if an Ari fire is destroyed, it will special summon itself from the graveyard. And the next standby phase. Yeah. So talking about these combo-oriented builds and why I don't like them, especially in the current metagame. First of all, your only target is UFD. We don't have Exosister Magnifica, which if you don't know, it's a new Exosister card. I can just pull it up real quick. There we go. Exosister's Magnifica must be special summoned with the above. Right? Exosister's 2 rank 4s. It can make a second attack, and you can detach a material, banish a card. So you have a quick play, basically Mika effect. You can see her on the card right over here. Love her. When your opponent activates card or effect, you control a special summon that monster, right? So basically what you do is you go banish on your opponent's turn, obviously. You detach 1, banish, and then you would return to the extra deck. Say like you made this with like a Mikolis and a Caspatel. You would then overlay for the Caspatel or Mikolis, whichever one you didn't detach. So that's why I'm saying that these decks aren't great, is because the only like rank 4 target is UFD. Other than that, you're just ending on 2 rank 4s that are vanillas on your opponent's turn. Plus, you're not like, in this deck, you're searching Armament. Like, Armament search gets you what? A proactive lockout of the graveyard, but then you can't take advantage of any like extra Exosister effects that you might have like squandered on the field, right? Because if you open like a hand of like say 2 Exosisters and like Pax and one of those random extenders, right? You'd go like normal, say Sophia Special Ellis, random extender like Gigabyte, and then overlay like Ellis Gigabyte for Caspatel detach, add say like add like packs, activate, or no, you'd have to go Mika Lace, add packs, pack special, cast Patel search for next turn, follow up, and then UFD. But then you don't like get the armament, so there's that problem. And let's say you open like Stella, and you go like normal Stella, special Sophia, draw like a random like, you know, like an imperm, something that's not going to do anything. Then you go, okay, well now I go overlay my extender and my Stella because I've used my normal already to make a cast Patel search Elise, special Ellis, and then you have, you know, one of your random, you have your Sophia and your Ellis. You go Mikalace, search armament or search Pax. What do you like? And in this scenario, Pax is just a worse Vadis, right? Which like you could just play one of Vadis instead of the 3 of armament. And armament just gets you some proactivity, but you don't really have much else besides that, you know. And that's why I don't like it, because like the amount of follow-up that you have is then like nullified because you don't have any recursion. This is why I like the deck, specifically like the eldlich deck, right? Because like even if you don't open up 2 level 4s, you set 3 traps and you pass, and your opponent has to play through that. You know, they don't get these, they don't have to just play through 1 XZ monster, you know, a lock out of the graveyard, which like just does nothing in some decks. While like here, at least you're going to have the Sanguine Conquistador combos, or like a goes in match, which will just lock your opponent out. Are any of these little light? Yeah, it doesn't look like any of these are light too, so you're kind of locked out of goes in match. I mean, I suppose you're not really, because you're going to be only doing this on your turn. So like you could just, you know, do your combos, flip goes in, and then just be like, yeah, out my goes in. Talking about the Magistus engine, I'm like not a huge fan of this, specifically because you can special summon a level 4 spellcast from your hand or graveyard in defense position, but its effects are negated. The targets for this are Irene. I don't really care if I negate her effects. Ellis, whatever. Sophia. If you're specialing Sophia, you're losing out on a draw. Stella. So I think like you'd rather just play like what do you get access to? You get access to a Synchro Floodgate that can't be destroyed by spell traps. So if your opponent has a 3k beater, they beat over this. And like, I'm sorry, but like there are a lot of 3k beaters in the format. Plus the DP reduces the attack. So you're just kind of sitting there looking at this 2500 attack beater. And so, you know, like, what are you doing? You can block them out of links, NXCs, and synchros, of which I'd argue there is really only like you're locking them out of Sword Soul effects. Okay, cool. They can still make Baron. And like a lot of their effects aren't going to be just like they activate the effects that are important to stop are not synchro effects. It's the non-synchro effects. I mean, you can stop Hal. How are you even equipping? Yeah, you can only equip one of the floodgates. So like, it's just not worth it. And like that's my opinion. So now on to these other decks. I'm gonna stop talking about this for now. ZS Arm Sage. I'm actually kind of a fan of this because like this provides like a very interesting way to, you know, get into a different package that isn't just like normal boring ass stupid, you know, stuff I don't really care about. Because you can go, you know, ZS Arm Sage. You've probably seen this in Utopia combos if you've played Master Duel at all, but you go ZS Arm Sage, level 4, overlay for Utopia double, and then Utopia double effect, make Utopia. Why are you not playing? I'm not sure why. This should probably be a prime is what I'm thinking. I think I might have just gotten the deck list wrong. Doesn't make sense to have a utopic sage in here. Probably should be like you do double make Utopia prime, and then activate Utopia Force for, I mean, but there's no second target, so yeah, I guess it is a set utopic sage. I'm not really sure why this is in here. I haven't played this deck too much, like I said. It's an Exodia list that I got for this video. But you go here, you go detach 2 materials, special summon the Hope Harbinger, and then you get a spell negate, which is like an interesting way to include more negates in this deck that doesn't have a lot of proactivity. That being said, 3 Armament is bricky, 3 Vadis is bricky. I think that's a fair statement. Probably should cut these down. You can maybe play a nib. Also, like double or nothing plus Utopia Force, plus 3 Armament, plus 3 Vadis. Like you don't want to draw more than one of these. You don't want to draw more than one of these 5. Like, this deck seems very susceptible to bricking, and that's another problem that I have with this specific package, because you have to include what is effectively, 2 bricks to a 3 good card ratio. It might be worthwhile in like certain scenarios. I just don't think it's worthwhile right now. It does help you get out like a Hope Harbinger plus UFD or UDF, which is very good. So I think like the high roll risk is definitely worthwhile. That being said, not a huge fan still. I think control decks, like just playing a control deck is better. It's also easier. I will stand by the idea that like the control deck, even though the control mirror is awful, it's still a lot better. That being said, I think there's a lot of room for theory here too. This definitely isn't an optimized list from Exodia. I think there's definitely ways that you could change the ratios up a little bit that would be extremely interesting and probably make this deck better. Maybe something with like E-Telly into like Ogre as well, because that's pretty good. Like with the Brave engine, you could play like maybe instead of like 2 Trapture, 2 IDP, and 2 3 Imperm, you could play like cut an Armament, because you need what? You need 3 of the Aquamancer, these 3 of the the right, and then 1 of the continuous and Draco back. So you could maybe cut like, because that's what 3, 6, 8 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards that you could cut, and then maybe play an adventure engine instead, which I think would be a lot better. But like I said, this deck has a lot of room for cool theory in it, that I would love to see. And I think this deck is probably the one that I say like compared to the Hussein deck, because I think that one has a very low ceiling, just like in terms of innovation. Obviously, to compare and contrast, because I've been kind of doing that for the video, I can pull up the Hussein deck. Oh yeah, and then I've got my deck, which we'll do last. So comparing and contrasting here, this one I think has a much, like, even though setting 5 traps is really good, I think that this probably has a better turn 1 if it opens the full combo. But if you brick, it's very much a worse turn 1 than a brick of this, because you still set 2 traps, you pass, you're living, and so that's why I'm not sold on this specifically. I think like it's a lot more high rolly. I'd want a way to see like maybe a more consistent version of this deck before I could say that it's good or it's bad. Yeah. Sorry, just checking my record time. Don't want to make this video too long. So yeah, I know I'm going to get a little rambly there, so I'm going to move on. So moving on to this version of the deck that I made. The idea is that it's trying to be as minimal bricky as possible. Obviously 3 desires, you probably have to cut that. I've also got the IO on the side. Banned, thank God. Yeah. So the reason I play the fewest amount of these is that like, especially in decks where you're playing more than like 6 or 7, I think the odds that you will see one or more than one and like not see a spellcaster is too fucking high. That's why I'm playing a Monster Reborn instead, because then you can detach Monster Reborn and it's basically the same thing. Like, it's not actually the same thing, but like in effect it is the same thing, and that's what I think is really most important. Plus Reborn into like a a utopic Draco Future play is really good. Yeah, pretty standard ratios for what I think is very good. Obviously, I think it should be clear on this channel at least that I'm a big believer in Irene and Sophia in just for the Vadis. Same with like 3 of these. As you saw, I believe the Exodia deck was only playing 2 Sophia, and like it's definitely an interesting choice. And like if you're going to get cast Patel searches off it, but like you really want to be normal summoning the either Stella or Sophia, and like that's why I maximize those 100%. 3 packs, 3 armament. Again, like I said, you probably cut down. The more I play 3 armament, it's bricky, probably 2. You know, cut it for like a second triple tack or something along those lines. Playing the 1 double or nothing just for going second, because I think that's a really good package. Obviously, I don't think it's good in the control version where you're not playing as many level 4s, but just the ability to go second and be like, if you don't have a way to stop this, I will kill you, you know? Plus, it should be like what? It's... One sec, I gotta do some, because it'd be Utopia, double, Utopia, and then 1 material. It'd be only a 3 material Zeus, yeah, so no point in worrying about like the Utopia double stuff into Zeus. 3 Michaelis and 2 Caspitel, 1 Osophiel. I probably would change this ratio. I don't know. Michaelis is just by far the best Xyz, and like it just sucks not having 3 of her. But at the same time, 3 is just like it just won't come up so often. So like yeah, Megaclops is Tornado Dragon for control decks, obviously. Megaclops. This one is very interesting. It's unaffected by other monsters' effect except Xyz monsters. So it's a towers for monsters except for Xyz monsters, which is an interesting idea. Also, the just ability to be like, hey, your card is now my material for like a Zeus is good. 1 Vespinato, just overlaying over like a dead Gibberine or Michaelis is just free damage, you know. That's about where that is. So that's why I say, like, you know, looking at this deck, I think this is like the ceiling. The ceiling is probably lower, but I think it's much more consistent, which makes the deck better. And that's really basically all I have to say. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a great day.